Welcome to Your Own University, where your life experiences map out your ultimate purpose because you matter. I'm Lisha Antica, your life strategist specialist, and if you're ready to evolve, subscribe to our channel. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about defining yourself. And this is so important when it comes to playing roles. Who do you want to be? Why do you want to be who you want to be? And who are you in all situations, overarching, and who are you in specific areas of your life? This is really important. If you don't know this about yourself, you can be washed about by people pleasing, low self-esteem, and being bullied and manipulated into situations and doing things that you ultimately don't want to do and aren't for your highest good. Let's bust through this paradigm. At your own university, you learn who you are, right? You define who you are. This is huge in your life lessons, and it's huge in my life lessons. And I was reminded of it yesterday, actually, in my own personal coaching call with my coach. She said, well, who do you want to be as such and such? So we're going to get into that. But this is a lesson that I actually went all around and I taught in a complete workshop, like multiple places in the world, about really who do you want to be and how do you want to step into this role. So this is a topic that I know a ton about. I just hadn't thought about it in this particular area in a while, and things shift. So I'm going to share with you today, the top roles that people play, and then you can go back onto this and hopefully start defining yourself in these areas and think about ways to do it. So the first role that we all play is we play the role of self, and usually we define the self as a name. So for me, if you've been following me for a while, you know I have a couple names. So Antica is a name that I chose for myself when I was 19 years old, and I changed it legally, and Lisha was my given name at birth. And I love them both, so now I go by Lisha Antica because I've really claimed who I am, and I accept all of the ways that and things that Lisha went through. So if you have this like multiple name, and I know many of my clients do, many of the people in our circles, we kind of name ourselves, just recognize who do you define yourself as in each of those names and how do you relate to it. And if there's any sticky areas, you can do practices that we talk about in other videos like journaling or EFT, or we can do some soul seeding if you'd like to schedule a private session with me and really get into you stepping into your power no matter what your name is, because really it shouldn't matter what you're called because you know who you are ultimately. The second role that we play besides self is the role of daughter or son. So who do you want to be as a daughter or son? This can be truly tricky, and sometimes when we get into those situations with our parents, most of us, not all of us, have old wounds and old triggers that come up, and so you're more sensitive in those areas. So asking yourself, who do you want to be? What are your morals and your values? What is the character that you desire to live into when you're around your parents is really important to having that connection, that confidence when around family. And this can go for the entire family. Who do you want to be as this also really is really closely connected to as a brother or sister. Who do you want to be as a brother or sister? And son and daughter. The third role that we ultimately play is of parent. Now, maybe you are a parent to furries, maybe you're a parent to little furry animals, and maybe you're a parent to actual children, and there's different stages. So this is the big thing that I learned yesterday. So I knew who I wanted to be as a parent when my kids were really little, and how I wanted to interact and where I wanted to be and how I wanted to be around. But as they have gotten older in my personal life, I kind of forgot to check back into this big defining self and awareness exercise that we're mapping out right now. And for me, it's caused a little bit of havoc in my parenting style. So I'm reviewing again, and I invite you to review for yourself, like, who do you want to be as a parent? And maybe do it every couple years, because I'm sure it will shift again once my children are adults. How do you want to interact with your children? What morals and values do you have with that? What expectations do you have? And what requirements do you have? So I just gave you some good, juicy questions to ask for yourself right there. The fourth role that we play is of a friend, right? So how do you want to see yourself as a friend? What does friend mean to you? What does that step into your life, and how do you cultivate yourself as a friend? What morals and values do you have as a friend, and how would you like to show up? This is beautiful. Another thing that you can do in all of these areas is really look at people that you admire, that you want to be more like. It can even be like a TV show or a character on TV that you're like, oh yeah, it'd be so cool to be that kind of person, because we can cultivate different aspects of our lives. I was listening to, I was listening to Grant Cardone, and he was just saying how he wasn't born a salesperson, right? He's into sales. And he wasn't born this like salesperson. He had to cultivate that. He has a twin, I guess, and his twin isn't totally great at sales. He had to actually cultivate being really good at sales and really personable. And so you can cultivate different aspects of your life. I know working in Toastmasters, we cultivate different ways to tell stories. And I never thought that I could tell a story until I got into Toastmasters and learned this. And I'm still working on being funny and tapping into my wit and creativity in that way. So we can always expand and learn. And that's really what it's about to be human, right? Is continuously learning and growing as individuals. The fifth role that we play is of a contribution to the world. So this can be a role that you play at work. You could be an entrepreneur, you can be an employee, you can be a boss, you can be a manager, you can be an assistant, right? So how do you play that role? What role do you want to play, and what does that mean to you? How are you defining it? And the great thing to do when you're looking at all of these ways is, do you feel really good about how you are showing up in these roles? Do you align with what you think is good? Or are you looking for that outside, you should be this way and you should be that way and you need to do it this way, people pleasing? And when we're trying to people please, I don't know if you've been a people pleaser. I know I am a recovering people pleaser. It doesn't work. Nobody's ever really pleased. We only can be pleased and confident when we are truly, truly pleasing ourselves. So as you go through your list, I encourage you to whip out your journal, write down the 5 roles that you play, and then how you're playing them right now. And make sure that you align with your own truth, who you want to be. Because your life experiences, like I say all the time, like your life experiences really create that ultimate purpose in your life. And so you showing up fully as you is going to align you to be able to manifest what you desire in life much easier. So if you want to go deeper into this, I do have one sessions. They're one-off sessions you can get at lishaantica.com. And we just dive into your roles and walk you through a really powerful integrated process that will help you eliminate the stress and the chaos and the disappointment that we often feel when we're trying to play the role that everybody else cast us at, and we're not truly stepping into our own power and own center. And then really make the shifts in your life in order to set the boundaries and do the things in order to bring yourself into alignment. I know I'm doing that in my parenting right now. Writing everything down, going through it, and being like, how do I want to be a parent to teenagers, right? How is this working and how is this not working to me? It's a constant growing effort. So you can do this when you change jobs. You can do this when you get into new relationships. You can do this when you go to a family event, right? This is such a beautiful process that I hope that you truly enjoy, and that helps you grow into the person that you're ultimately here to be, which is filled with ease and effortlessness and self-confidence and sincere bliss. So go ahead and join us at yourownuniversity.com. We have some great classes and master classes coming up over there. And thank you for joining us here at YOU TV. Subscribe to our channel. Please share our channel with other people. We're growing, and that is super fun to see. And thank you for commenting and sending me messages. I love hearing them. I love responding back to you. And I hope that you will also join us on our other social media platforms, be it LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Love you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.